Alright guys, so we're here at the ballpark, and if any of you guys have seen some of the new footage from the DJI Mavic 2s, there's a thing on there called Hyperlapse. So I wanted to do a Hyperlapse with the Parrot Anafi just to see what a Hyperlapse looks like. So in this video, we're not going to go into depth as to all of the functions of the Hyperlapse. So we're going to plot a course to go around this ball field, and we're going to point at the concession stand the entire time. And we're going to do that in a hyperlapse. So the best way to do that, in my opinion, is to use Flight Plan, because Flight Plan has ultra smooth movements. You put a point and then you put another point, and then you can point at a point of interest in the middle, and so letting the robot handle those movements I think is going to be pretty cool. So here we go. Let's create the Flight Plan. Alright guys, so we're going to start out with the app, and we're going to use the app without starting the drone so I can save battery. So we're going to hit the fly button, and we're in here. We're going to go to piloting mode, and we're going to change piloting mode to Flight Plan. Alright, now that we're in Flight Plan, we have an old ballpark, but we're going to start a new Flight Plan. What it's going to do is it's going to show you a satellite view of the park. And what's good about this ballpark is it's been around for a while. So it's definitely been established on Google Maps. And as you can see, that little blue dot in the parking lot is me. And it's pointing in the direction that my antennas are pointing. All right, so we're going to put the first dot there. And we're going to leave it at 10 feet up in the air. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do like an orbit around this park. So we're going to start putting points around the ballpark for the Anafi to fly to. So we put another point over there, and you can see over on the right, you can change the altitude of that point. But here I messed up. I didn't have the point selected. So whatever point you have selected, that's what you're going to affect. So I've added another point, and as you can see, it's still 10 feet up in the air. So we're going to go back to the other point, and we're going to change the altitude. We're going to end up with 337. I could play around with it, but I decided to do 337. And then we're going to change the second point to 337. And what it's going to do when I add my next point, it's going to keep the point, or it's going to keep the altitude of the last point that I placed. So as you can see, it's 337. So we're going to basically keep the same altitude through this whole flight plan. And we're just going to do 337. We're going to do an orbit around the ball field, putting different points. And as you can see, it says there's 310 feet between those 2 points. And now I'm kind of zoomed in, and it won't let me put a point right over another point. So we're going to do near the home point, and then we're going to descend down to the parking lot about 26 feet over the parking lot. And the reason I did 26 feet is I don't know if a car is going to be parked there or not. So basically what it's going to do is it's going to come straight down and then just kind of hang out until I tell it to do something. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put a point of interest on the map. And what a point of interest does is, and you hold down on the screen, and then that little menu pops up and it adds a point of interest. So we're going to put the point of interest right in the middle of the map, over the concession stand, and then we're going to select each point. We're going to keep the point of interest selected, and then we're going to select all the rest of the points, and they're going to point at the blue point of interest. Okay, we'll zoom in so that we can touch all the points. And now we have every point, like this entire orbit is pointing at the ballpark middle, and we're going to put it about 36 feet. So the altitude of what we're going to point at is 36 feet. And then we're going to hit Save As. We're going to title it Ballpark Orbit. All right. We're going to save it. Then we're going to turn the drone on, and we're going to fly through this flight path. So, okay, now we're here. And what we're going to do here is we're going to change our video mode to hyperlapse over on the right. That was pretty quick, but I hope you noticed it. And we've got ballpark orbit. We're just going to hit the play button on the ballpark orbit, and all of a sudden it's going to take off and it's going to fly to the first point. Okay, so that's the first point. And remember, the first point was 10 feet and the second point was 337 feet. So it's going to fly at an angle, but it's going to point at the red roof in the middle, and it's going to get up to 337 feet. But as you can see, my geofence is reached, but it's flying outside of my geofence. We're going to get up to, there we are, we're at 300 feet up in the air. We're going to get to about 338. And now you can see we're 443 feet away from the drone. Still got pretty good signal to the drone. And it's just going to do an orbit around. Now, at one point I lose signal, and right here I completely lose signal. But what's good about the flight plan is that I can fly out of signal, and it's still going to execute all of the points that I programmed into the flight plan. So it's going to continue to do the flight plan even though I don't have connection. And this is something that happened with my bebops as well. So it's pretty neat. And if they haven't changed anything in flight plan, what's going to happen is if the battery is close to dying, it will just land wherever it is. So it's also important to do your flight plan over land you have access to. Don't go flying out into some natural park or something that you don't have access to. But as you can see, it's a pretty smooth flight, guys. Now, this isn't a perfect orbit. I did this pretty quick. But check out those clouds on the field, guys. So those clouds are moving, like this is live at normal speed. So whenever we get to the hyperlapse, those clouds are going to look awesome. So that's pretty cool, guys. So as you can see, we're still at 338 feet up in the air. We're going at 16.7 feet per second. And the drone still has 86%, guys. So, I think a lot of times we waste the batteries on our drones, trying to get into position. But if you plan your shots out right, we did this whole plan. We got 3 minutes worth of footage. It'll probably end up being about 3 minutes and 30 seconds of footage. Yeah, and we still have 85%. So we could do the flight, this simple orbit. We could fly this orbit and then turn the drone off, watch it, make whatever tweaks we need to, and then just hit play again, and it'll do the exact same mission over and over and over again. So what I want to do next is I'm going to, so you remember the descent, like the end point was at a different location than the beginning point. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit play again, and I'm going to show you that it's just going to fly directly to the start point. Okay? And then it's going to start executing the flight plan again. Okay, guys, so this is the final shot. The white balance is the only thing that annoys me about this shot, but everything else looks pretty awesome. The clouds on the field are pretty cool. All right, guys, that was it. What do you guys think? I think that was pretty cool. So we're going to do this a couple more times. This was the first try, so we're going to get better at it. But yeah, if you guys have the Parrot Anafi, get flight plan and play around with hyperlapse yourself. Hope you guys like this video. Please like, subscribe to my channel, click the bell, and you'll get notifications every time I upload a new video. But yeah, Have a wonderful day, guys. Peace out.